um, I'm not at work, and that's a rarity. Normally, I would be working at the airport today. But the reason I can't is because I couldn't get there. And why couldn't I get there? Because my car, which I've had as of yesterday for a month, and I know that because the temporary tag um, was expiring yesterday, so I'm going to switch it out for the license plate. Um, because that car is damaged. Why is that car damaged? I'm. Uh, this is this is mostly for me to get this out because I have to describe. People who are close to me get to hear this stuff all the time, right? My crazy life, but yesterday, even for me, was absolutely bonkers. So I'm going to walk you through my day. It was Tuesday, June 14th. My plan was make money early in the morning, which happened. Then get the youngest kid and have the youngest kid help me around my place to make some extra money. Veronica just turned 11. Um, and to get Veronica out of the mom's house for a little bit because the mom's got COVID. They just came back from a cruise. The mom's got COVID and Leo has COVID. So Veronica's managed to avoid it. Has been tested, masked, distanced, all that stuff. But getting Veronica out of there every day is one of my goals. Like, so Veronica can get some sunshine and you know, hang out with the kids. I was looking forward to hang out with the kids all week, and it's just, you know, because of the COVID thing. So that's already a bit crazy. Keep this in mind. Since COVID has began, I have not gotten it. Why that is insane is, one, I am in Florida. Two, I never stopped being out in the public because I had to make money any which way I could. Because of the arrest thing and everything being delayed because of COVID, I've had this thing on my record which finally got dealt with as of last week, Tuesday. It is finally resolved, and it is okay. But keep in mind that that stopped me from being able to do any number of normal people things over the last 2 years, which is why I've been just doing everything I could to make money, hustling, unable to get regular jobs and all that kind of stuff. It has been a extended nightmare, but I never got COVID, which is crazy. Of course, I used to be sort of ultra cautious. I was one of the first people to get the vaccine. I was one of the first people to get a booster, and I was certainly one of the first people to get a second booster. So, because of being part of an experiment group and all this other stuff. In any case, so I've got Veronica with me, and we do a little shopping, and I pull into my place, normal as can be. Teenager in a car cuts in front of me, is trying to exit through the entrance only gate that I just came through. Right in front of me, pow, hit him. So my my gorgeous new to me car that I've had for a month, now the whole front end is crushed in. Their car infinitely worse. I hit the back left side, the back driver's side of their car, crushed that in. Clearly their fault. Luckily, there were a bunch of neighbors who kind of witnessed it, immediately gave me their contact info. If things go down, you know, with the claims adjuster, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, let me know. In fact, I'm going to have to take all those pictures. I just talked to a claims adjuster and got a bunch of advice from a bunch of different people. And I'm okay. Veronica's okay. Most importantly, Veronica's okay. Um, the person, as soon as they got hit, I just gotta tell these stories because they're so crazy. So she got out of the car and immediately went, I mean, the worst acting job you've ever seen, right? Oh, my head, I have a headache, I can't, what happened? Like, literally act like that, saying it like that. To the point where later Veronica just went, Dad, have you seen it? And I go, what? I go, I haven't seen it. And I go, what are you talking about? The Oscar for that performance that she gave. which again was one of those moments where my kids are so great and they just know how to like lift the gloomy clouds away, if only for a moment. In any case, so she started pulling that act. There was a representative, or like somebody from the complex in which we live, who happened to be nearby. So she came out, got my information, got her information, and then because she was claiming about this headache, called EMTs. So they show up, and immediately her whole tone changes because I think she realizes like this is serious, and if I'm found liable, I'm gonna have to pay for this ambulance ride and all this other stuff. So immediately started, oh, no, I feel much better, and was much more clear-headed. And once it was clear it was kind of not going her way, was like sweet as pie to me. So I was nothing but concerned, even though like inside I'm mad. Of course I'm mad. My car and this person was very reckless, and I just started thinking about all the money stuff and all this stuff. I'm luckily in the morning. Again, it's just such a strange series of events. In the morning, they needed my like insurance information, the guys who sold me the car, to make sure everything was copacetic. So luckily, I had just taken care of all that stuff. Made sure the insurance was transferred from my old car to my new car, made sure everything was up to date. I even picked up, get this shit, on a whim, when they were like, you could upgrade your insurance a little and it'll only be $40 a month more. And even though money just terrifies me, any money that goes out. I mean, when I had to buy this car and have a car note, it made me get another full-time job. So, like, money is just sweating bullets about it. We're not even going to get into that stuff, how freaked out I am about even having to take 2 days off of one of my jobs. But I upgraded my insurance. Thank God for that, right? So that happened. Had their mother pick up Veronica. And luckily, the job I worked last night is very close to where I live, so I went there. And I worked. And work was fine. And where I work, there's kind of like different age groups of people. So where I am tends to be older people. But most of the servers of the restaurant are young, like 18, 19, right? And they're very energetic and they're very rambunctious, and and this idea of like the new generation not wanting to work. I mean, they're not at my job. I'll tell you that, because everybody's working and busting their ass. But any number of these youngsters come up to me, and almost all of these servers are black, right? And they just kept coming up and just going like, "You're viral, you're viral, and I have no idea what they're talking about. And they're like, "Oh, Steve, like that was the bomb, like oh my God." And then one of them dropped the line, "You got invited to the cookout." And I went, I know what that means. It means that I'm the white person who has been accepted by black people for the mythical cookout, right? I see these references all the time. And I will admit that hearing that phrase intrigued me and made me feel proud without even knowing why the hell I was invited to the cookout. Just to hear those words made me feel good in a day that was so chaotic and insane. And it didn't even occur to me that they just kept saying, "You went viral, you went viral." To me, that doesn't mean much, because it could be like, oh, that means they happen to see it. And then I just go like, what are you guys referring to? I just finally just asked, like, what are you talking about? And they're like, "You haven't seen it?" I was like, no. So at my other job, where I'm a server, I work a graveyard shift. And so who do you get you get a lot of people who are just looking to get a late night meal. Like, I mean, wrestlers can relate, right? After an event's done, Waffle House or whatever is the only thing open, you go there. And so you get a lot of club kids too. Kids who hit the clubs and blah blah blah, and then they come in for something to eat. And I always have a good time. I just don't give a shit. Like any job, I'm gonna have the best time. So there are a couple people who came in that I remembered in particular because they were saying they were filming stuff for TikTok. And so they asked, is it cool if we film me? I'm like, whatever. Like, in my mind, I always think everybody's channel's as small as my shit, right? So, whatever. And goes like old school. And then just goes, it was all a dream. And as soon as she said it, I was like, I used to read Word Up magazine. Like, it was nothing, right? Of course, it's Biggie, right? Like, no problem. But I did it with a little bit of spice. We're having a good time, whatever. And they were blown away. They were just like, oh, that's the best one we've gotten yet. Best one you've gotten yet. So that's what the video was this woman who has a huge TikTok following, who apparently just gets this sort of notion of just asking people to like follow up with a line, or I don't know all that she does. But in this case, she would just go up to people and just go like, okay, old school style, it was all a dream, and seeing how people responded. And lo and behold, I was the last one. I suppose they put me last. One, maybe because chronologically I was last, because this was like 3 or 4 in the morning. But also because I think, I provided the best show. Like everybody else was sort of inhibited about it. And I was not. I was just like, fuck. And then at the end of it, she goes like, oh, you invited to the cookout. And that's how the TikTok video ends. And all the youngsters at my job, youngsters, boy, any evidence you wanted that I am 50 years old, I just used the phrase youngsters unironically. Wow. They were all like giddy about it. Plus they were nuts because I had gotten that, which I had unboxed a couple of days ago, that Pride shirt based on the company I worked on, which I'm allowed to wear as part of my uniform at that one job. So I was the hero of the day. Not only was I in this TikTok video, not only did I nail the Biggie line correctly, not only was I part of some viral video of the TikTok person that they love the most, or they love a lot, that they certainly were down with. I had the Pride shirt, and most of them had met my kids or at least knew about them, and that part was really great. And then I ended the evening with a consulting job that I do, where I helped this guy out with his YouTube channel, and was just thoroughly exhausted thinking about everything that I had to do today. And so, I have to take all these pictures for the claims adjusters. I have to get stuff done. I have to figure out some way to get, because the insurance that I have, the good news is that I have like kind of the worst damage coverage, but at least I have it. So if I can get $1,000, then I can get the car fixed pretty much right away once they give me sort of the claims adjustment. But man, it's just so much. Without going that deep into it, it's just been so much the last 3 or 4 years, really. Ever since the divorce, it's been like this series of calamities. And I'm not this sort of blushing virgin of a victim, right? Certainly I've made choices that weren't the best. I'll own that. At the same time, my God, this series of constant, like, what I do like about me is what I can do, I do, right? I worked basically 48 hours straight last weekend. And then this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm basically going to work 72 hours straight. 9 to approximately 7 p.m., and then 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., and then Sunday is Father's Day, which is one of the busiest days of the year. So I'll be there at 9. Hopefully I'll get out at a somewhat of a reasonable time and then work that last 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift. So Monday morning at 7 a.m. Now I made it through the 48 hours, but will I make it through the 72? Especially when I feel kind of like I hate the car wreck thing for a number of reasons. One, it's like the front of the car looks like hell. That sucks. So just from that, like, I just got this car and it's already... That sucks. But then the check engine light comes on, so I don't feel safe driving it. Normally, if it was just banged up, fuck it, I'll bungee cord that shit together, still take the car around until I can get this car fixed. But it's not going to work, right? I can't do it. So the answer is, I don't fucking know, man. I'm glad I had the foresight to get 2 jobs, my 2 main full-time jobs, that one of them was within walking distance and the other is really not that far away, so I can kind of figure that out. But dude, I am so... I am thankful, and I know that sounds like such a cliche thing to say, but I'm thankful because I think about the foundation my parents gave me, where I'm able to, and I'm glad I don't have sort of liabilities mentally that would have just had me shut down. Like, my answer is work more, push myself harder, figure it out, and then I have any number of great friends that help. But man, it is wild. There's other things that I can do in the next 2 days, which if I get to them, I get to them. Like, I have a bunch of platinum pinfalls recorded, and that kind of stuff, and that's fine. But like, priority wise, it's obviously taking care of this car stuff, figuring it out. It's just so effing hard right now. I'm stressed out about money, all that kind of stuff. It's just so much. And it's like, I just wanted to give you a sense of what a day for me can be like. Obviously the person is disputing the claim, so that's just going to slow everything down, but they're absolutely wrong. And so I know in the end it's going to work out. Just like, and for people who are asking about like this IRS call where I was on hold for 2 hours, so they said they finally have processed something, but they can't tell me if I'm going to get the check. I'm 98% certain I am, because I had a tax guy do it. It's fine. But they said you'll either hear about it or whatever within 4 to 6 weeks, which means I'm going to have to wait for this money until mid-July when I need it. You know, part of me wants to, I can't even say the phrase give up. It's just not in me, right? Like, I will say that those thoughts kind of go through my mind where I just want to say, fuck this shit. But, like, it's just not in me to do. Like, I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to keep... But, man, ain't nobody can tell me. I'm not saying that there aren't people who have it worse. Of course there are. There's a ton of people who have it worse. I'm able-bodied. I'm able to, you know, figure this stuff out. I have great friends, and the kids are wonderful and all this kind of stuff. The sister that I get along with is having a birthday today, which is wonderful. But, man, it's just so much. All the effing time. Just the highs and lows and the ups and downs, and it's awesome, the Tik Toc thing. Like, that's just, and it just comes from being me. Yeah. In any case, I'm gonna put this thing up. It's just so crazy. See you later.